Philadelphia stood between the Delaware and Schuylkill rivers, linking Atlantic commerce with productive agricultural districts inland. Its geographic position helped make the city a leading commercial center before and during American independence. In 1776, Philadelphia was the largest city in British North America and a major port. Regular street plans reflected earlier foundations established under the direction of William Penn and colonial authorities. Wharves along the Delaware handled imported goods, exported flour, and regional trade moving through the harbor. Merchants, artisans, laborers, sailors, and professionals formed a complex urban society with diverse interests. German, Irish, English, and other immigrant communities contributed to population growth and economic activity. Political discussion occupied taverns, meeting halls, newspapers, and commercial gathering places throughout the city. Philadelphia's printers produced newspapers and pamphlets that circulated ideas across the colonies. By the mid-1770s, disagreements between Britain and the colonies had intensified into open political conflict. Delegates from multiple colonies assembled in Philadelphia because of its central location and established importance. The Second Continental Congress met in the Pennsylvania State House beginning in May 1775. Congress assumed responsibilities extending beyond protest and increasingly coordinated resistance to British authority. Philadelphia, therefore, became a political center for decisions affecting all participating colonies. Benjamin Franklin returned from diplomatic and political service with extensive experience and influence. John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and other delegates participated in debates concerning independence and governance. Committees worked within the city to organize military, diplomatic, and administrative responsibilities. These activities transformed Philadelphia from a colonial metropolis into a revolutionary headquarters. Economic uncertainty accompanied political change as merchants confronted disrupted imperial trade networks. Yet commercial experience also supplied organizational capacity useful to revolutionary administration. During 1776, congressional debates moved steadily toward a formal declaration of separation from Britain. The Declaration of Independence was adopted on July 4th within Philadelphia. That decision altered the city's role from protest center to national political capital. The declaration also required creation of new institutions capable of sustaining independence. Military developments soon threatened Philadelphia despite its political importance. British forces advanced toward the region during campaigns intended to weaken revolutionary leadership. Battles near Brandywine and Germantown affected the city's security and strategic position. The Continental Congress temporarily departed when British occupation became imminent. British troops entered Philadelphia in 1777 and controlled the city for several months. Occupation demonstrated that political significance did not guarantee military protection. Control of Philadelphia carried symbolic value because revolutionary institutions had operated there. Nevertheless, British occupation failed to end the broader struggle for independence. Congress continued functioning elsewhere while military operations proceeded across several regions. The city eventually returned to American control as strategic circumstances changed. Philadelphia then resumed an important governmental role during the remaining war years. Its location still connected northern and southern states through established transportation routes. Commercial infrastructure supported communication, procurement, and administrative coordination. The war placed demands on local resources and disrupted ordinary economic patterns. Merchants adapted to changing markets shaped by conflict and international diplomacy. Political leaders increasingly considered questions extending beyond military victory alone. They confronted issues involving finance, interstate cooperation, and constitutional authority. After independence, Philadelphia remained central to discussions about national government. Its public buildings and institutional experience made it a practical meeting place. The city hosted continuing debates regarding the structure of the new republic. Constitutional questions reflected concerns about balancing state and national powers. These concerns emerged from wartime experience and administrative limitations. Philadelphia's political culture encouraged extensive discussion of governmental design. The Constitutional Convention met in Philadelphia during 1787. Delegates drafted a federal constitution intended to strengthen national institutions. The convention represented another major turning point in the city's historical development. Its outcome shaped governance far beyond Pennsylvania and beyond the 18th century. Ratification debates followed in various states, while Philadelphia remained politically influential. New federal institutions required physical locations, administrative procedures, and public legitimacy. The Residence Act designated Philadelphia as the temporary national capital, beginning in 1790. Congress relocated from New York and assembled within Congress Hall. Federal officials worked alongside Pennsylvania authorities in neighboring public buildings. President George Washington established his executive residence within the city. National government operations brought diplomats, legislators, and petitioners into Philadelphia. This concentration of authority increased the city's political visibility throughout the Republic. Commercial activity benefited from governmental presence and continued regional trade connections. Philadelphia entered the 1790s as both a major port and the federal capital. The city now stood at the intersection of commerce, governance, and national development. Philadelphia entered the 1790s as the temporary capital of the United States and its largest urban center. Federal institutions operated from the city, while national political parties gradually emerged around competing visions of government. Debates concerning finance, foreign policy, and constitutional interpretation increasingly shaped political life throughout Philadelphia. The city's newspapers became important vehicles for partisan argument and public persuasion. Merchants continued expanding commercial activity through Atlantic trade and regional distribution networks. Philadelphia's location along the Delaware River remained essential to its economic strength and national influence. Population growth increased demand for housing, services, labor, and public infrastructure. At the same time, crowded waterfront districts created persistent concerns regarding sanitation and disease. Those concerns became far more serious during the summer of 1793. An outbreak of yellow fever appeared near the city's port districts and spread rapidly. Medical knowledge of disease transmission remained limited during the 18th century. Physicians disagreed about the origins and causes of the epidemic. As fatalities increased, fear spread through every level of Philadelphia society. Thousands of residents departed the city seeking safety in surrounding communities. Many government officials also left as the epidemic intensified. The crisis exposed the vulnerability of the national capital to public health emergencies. Commercial activity slowed as normal patterns of urban life were disrupted. Schools, businesses, and public institutions faced severe operational difficulties. Approximately 5,000 people died before the epidemic subsided during late 1793. The mortality rate represented a significant proportion of the city's population. Benjamin Rush remained among the most visible physicians treating victims during the outbreak. His medical methods later became subjects of substantial controversy and criticism. Philadelphia's free black community played a documented role in caring for the sick. Richard Allen and Absalom Jones organized relief efforts during the emergency. Their contributions challenged assumptions held by many white residents and officials. The epidemic demonstrated how social crises could reshape public perceptions and civic responsibilities. Recovery required rebuilding confidence in both municipal administration and commercial activity. Trade gradually resumed as the immediate danger diminished. Philadelphia retained its importance despite the severe losses experienced during the epidemic. Political debates continued as the federal government expanded its practical authority. Financial institutions strengthened the city's role within the developing national economy. The establishment of the First Bank of the United States reinforced Philadelphia's financial significance. Banking activity supported commerce, credit, and government operations across multiple states. Economic growth increasingly depended upon connections between finance, transportation, and trade. Philadelphia benefited from those interconnected developments. The city attracted entrepreneurs, professionals, craftsmen, and laborers seeking opportunity. Population expansion continued despite periodic public health challenges. Political divisions nevertheless intensified during the decade. Supporters of Alexander Hamilton and Thomas Jefferson advanced competing visions of national development. Federalists generally favored stronger national institutions and commercial expansion. Democratic Republicans emphasized different constitutional interpretations and political priorities. Philadelphia frequently served as the stage for these national disputes. Government officials, diplomats, journalists, and citizens participated in ongoing public debate. International events also influenced political discussion within the city. The wars resulting from the French Revolution affected American diplomacy and commerce. Foreign policy disagreements often became domestic political controversies. Philadelphia's position as capital placed those controversies at the center of local life. National authority continued developing through legislation, administration, and judicial decisions. Government institutions required permanent procedures rather than temporary wartime arrangements. The city therefore became a laboratory for early federal governance. Administrative routines established during these years influenced future national practice. Philadelphia also experienced recurring yellow fever outbreaks later in the decade. Repeated epidemics reminded residents that urban growth carried significant risks. Public officials increasingly considered quarantine measures and health regulations. These responses reflected gradual adaptation, rather than complete understanding of disease. Economic resilience became necessary for maintaining urban stability. Merchants adjusted business practices to changing conditions and uncertainties. Meanwhile, construction continued throughout various parts of the city. Residential districts expanded beyond earlier colonial patterns. Improved connections between neighborhoods supported commercial and governmental functions. Philadelphia remained among the most sophisticated urban environments in the United States. Its institutions included libraries, learned societies, churches, and educational establishments. Such organizations contributed to the city's intellectual reputation. Knowledge exchange became an important component of civic culture. The federal government remained in Philadelphia until 1800. That arrangement had been established under the Residence Act. During the decade, national leaders prepared for relocation to the new federal district. Construction progressed along the Potomac River while Philadelphia continued serving as capital. The approaching transfer created uncertainty regarding the city's future political status. Some residents hoped national institutions might remain permanently. Others anticipated greater emphasis on commerce and finance after relocation. In 1800, the federal government moved to Washington. Philadelphia consequently lost its position as the national capital. The transfer represented a significant political transition rather than an economic collapse. Commercial activity continued through established regional and international connections. Financial institutions remained influential within the national economy. Philadelphia adapted by emphasizing functions beyond direct federal administration. The city continued serving as a major port and commercial center. Its geographic advantages remained unchanged after the government's departure. Access to inland markets preserved economic importance. River transportation linked Philadelphia to productive agricultural regions. Those connections sustained trade across state boundaries. During the early 19th century, urban development continued despite periodic challenges. Manufacturing activity gradually expanded alongside traditional commercial pursuits. The local economy became increasingly diversified. Economic diversification reduced dependence upon any single source of prosperity. Social institutions also evolved as population growth continued. Religious congregations, charitable organizations, and civic associations expanded their activities. Free black communities continued developing independent institutions and leadership structures. Their experiences reflected broader struggles concerning citizenship and opportunity. Political influence no longer depended upon hosting the national government. Instead, Philadelphia's importance increasingly rested upon economic capacity and institutional strength. The period from 1776 through 1820 transformed Philadelphia repeatedly. It served as revolutionary center, constitutional meeting place, national capital, and commercial metropolis. Each phase produced lasting consequences for the city and the nation. Philadelphia demonstrated how geography, commerce, politics, and public health could interact within a rapidly changing republic. By 1820, the city remained one of the most influential urban centers in the United States. Its experience illustrated the opportunities and vulnerabilities of early American development. The legacy of these decades endured through institutions, economic networks, and political precedents established within Philadelphia. Encyclopedia Britannica, Philadelphia History U.S. Senate Historical Office, Philadelphia as National Capital History. Yellow Fever Outbreak of 1793 History. Yellow fever breaks out in Philadelphia. Gilder Lehrman Institute. Reports on the yellow fever epidemic, 17